Hi, let's talk a little about credit card numbers and how we can check to see whether or not a certain credit card number is valid. So credit card numbers have, in most cases, 16 numbers, some have 15. The first 6 digits are known as the issuer identifier number, so this is who gave out the credit card, be it the Royal Bank, American Express, Diners Club, whatever. There is a website that you can go to on Wikipedia that lists the ID numbers and what organizations gave out those credit cards. The last digit, the one on the far right, is known as the check digit. What this does is guarantee whether or not that the credit card number is valid. So it's generated in such a way to satisfy what's known as the loan check. We'll talk more about that very shortly. So, if the first 6 identifiers, or the first 6 digits identify, say, the bank, and the last one is the check digit, then the 9 digits in the middle are your account number. Since there's 10 possible values for these 9 digits, there's 10 to the 9, or a little bigger than a billion possible account numbers for each individual credit card issuer. But not all are valid. So how do we check to see whether or not the credit card number is valid? Well, we're going to use what's called this loan check. So we're going to go through the steps. It's going to look very, very confusing, and then we'll look at a couple of examples which hopefully will clarify things. So starting with the check digit, double the value of every second digit excluding the check digit. So for a 16-digit credit card number, we double the 15th, 13th, 11th, 9th, 7th, 5th, 3rd, and 1st digits. If we double the numbers, say the number is 7, it becomes a 14. 14 is too big for one digit, so we would add the 1 and the 4, and that would become a 5. Or as I show here, if we have 6, multiply 6 times 2, we get 12. 12 is greater than 9, so we'd add 1 and 2, and we would get a 3. Now, we replace the digits in the odd places in the original credit card number with these new single-digit numbers to get a new 16-digit number. And then we sum all these digits. If the final total of the sum of the 16 digits is evenly divisible by 10, meaning that the far right digit on the result is a 0, then it's valid. If it's any other digit, anything from 1 to 9, it's invalid. Sounds simple, right? I'm sure you're scratching your head. So let's look at an example, and this should make it clear to you as to how this works. So let's look at this number, 4552720412345678. Is this valid? Well, we start with the second digit to the right, 7 in this case, and multiply it by 2, and then do the same with every other number. So what's being shown here are the values after you multiply by 2. So 4 times 2 is 8, 5 times 2 is 10, 7 times 2 is 14, and so on. So now, we bring down the digits that we didn't change, and the ones that we did change, the one we doubled, if the result was greater than 9, we just add the 2 digits. So 1 0 becomes 1, 1 4 becomes 5, 1 0 becomes 1, and 1 4 becomes 5. So this gives us our new number. Okay, so now let's add up the numbers. So we've got 8 plus 5 plus 1 plus 2 and so on, and we get 61. So is this a valid credit card number? Well, if it was valid, it would be evenly divisible by 10, meaning it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Well, this is 61, so this is not a valid credit card number. So we need to change the check digit. So we can try to make the sum either 60 or 70. So we can take 1 away, or we can try to add 9. We can't add 9 to 8. It gives us a value greater than 9, obviously, so we have to take 1 away. So we take 1 away. Now our check digit is equal to 7. So now our valid credit card number is going to be the original numbers with the altered check digit. and there's ever only one correct check digit value. So our valid number is 4552, 7204, 1234, 567, and then 7. Okay, so let's try another example. So let's look at this number. Is this a valid credit card number? So we start with the second digit to the right, 2 in this case, and multiply this number and every other number by 2. So this gives us this. 2 times 2 is 4, 9 times 2 is 18, 7 times 2 is 14, and so on. Now we had the digits that weren't changed, and any digit that was changed that gave us a total greater than 9, we add the digits. So for instance, the 18 becomes a 9, 14 becomes a 5, etc. Then we add all these numbers together. When we sum the numbers, we get 65. So 65 is not evenly divisible by 10. So we're going to either have to add 5 or take 5 away in order to make this a valid number. Either make it 60 or 70. Well, the check digit currently is a 3. We can add 5 to it. 3 times 5, or 3 plus 5 is 8. We can't take 5 away. It will give us minus 2. So we have to add the 5. So the new check digit becomes 8. So our valid credit card number now is what's shown. And again, the only digit which has changed is the check digit. So this looks pretty complicated, but in fact, it's relatively simple.